Ah. Ah, I need that change right there. What is going on, y'all? I'm messing around on Arage and shedding and sharing on today. And just want to say um, hello to those watching. What's going on? We are here in the shed. And hey, I wanted to talk about something. I'm going to talk and practice a little bit. I'm going to weave it together if I can. This is how my teacher back at Southern University used to do. We would shed and then we would talk. So that's what I'm gonna do. That'll be the format for these live streams. And so first of all, for those that may be new to the channel that stumbles across this replay, my name is Quan Fowler. I am, of course, saxophonist. I am an educator, performer, artist. I have 9 CDs that I've released so far, and I have some singles that I've released as well, and you can check all of that stuff out on all of the digital streaming platforms. And also, I do teach. People have been asking, do you teach privately? Do you teach privately? And I do teach privately. I've been changing things because I have a mentorship program. And so the mentorship program, it works where we meet twice a week. We're talking about or going over jazz improvisation stuff on Tuesdays, and then we go over our music business / marketing stuff on Thursdays. Last week we had a special guest, Mr. Greg Osby, a phenomenal saxophonist in the jazz world, and also great composer. He was also one of the judges in the Thelonious Monk competition when I did it back in 2008. Okay, so yeah, he was in there with us, and we had great conversations. So that's the Sound Musician Mentorship Program, and I also created like a free Telegram if you want to just kind of get a feel or, a little bit peep in to see how we do things just a little bit. It's totally not as in depth and as what you would get inside of the actual mentorship program. But also for those people who want to take private lessons with me, uh, if you are part of the mentorship program, you get a discount on your lesson. If you're not, then you would have to pay a little more for just one-on-one lessons. But anyway, that information is below in the description, so you can just go there. All right, so how do you make a living as a musician? We're going to talk about that on today, right? So I had a previous member of the sound musician mentorship program, and even people who I've talked to just on Zoom. We've talked about the whole idea of making a living as a musician, and what do you need? What do you need to do? How do you go about it today in 2024 or going into 2025? What do you need? So first and foremost, let's say that you got your stuff together. I'm going to give 3 different scenarios, right? I'm going to give 3 different scenarios. All right, let's say you know how to play, you got skill. And one instance, you have a family, you're busy, you're really busy, you have to teach, you're working, doing jobs that you don't necessarily enjoy, Ubering and different things, but you have to do it to make ends meet. And then you might be, have kids, your responsibilities for dropping your kids off, picking them up, or just doing your daddy duty. Or if you're wanting to, let's say if you don't have family, right? And you're one that has time because you don't have family, so you got time to actually put in the work, but you just don't know where to start, okay? And let's say another scenario is someone who is actually classically trained and doesn't know how to improvise, but they see everybody else playing gigs and doing cool things, and they want to be able to do that, So 3 different scenarios, right? So what is the solution? How do I tie them all together? So, all right, so first of all, the thing that's very important for all of those scenarios, it's a matter of awareness and building your brand, right? So when you're busy doing stuff offline, because you have teachers, you have students that you're teaching, or if you have gigs that you have to play and jobs that you have to work, you're busy. And so you might have a reputation offline, which is great. But the thing about if you want to really expand and get more opportunities, we know that you have to leverage using the social media platforms, because this is a way that you're able to reach a lot of people and really give them a chance to get to know you, to like you, and trust you, so that you will be an option. You know what I'm saying? Out of sight, out of mind. Because I pop up on you all's feed, you all are reminded that I'm an option if you want to hire me for a gig, if you want to hire me to teach you how to play, or if you want to be a part of the mentorship program, so that we can shed and go over a lot of these things, on a weekly basis, and get that accountability, and be a part of a community. It's like I'm constantly reminding you of those options every time I show up. And so it takes consistency in that regard. And so on the flip side, on the other side of that coin, let's say you want to get your vocabulary together, get your jazz stuff together. So I always talk about this too. So I like Drum Genius. This is the app I use, and I use this to make practicing fun. So we're going to talk about some practice and stuff. So I'm giving y'all some practical stuff that you can do, so you can share it and then kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Let's say you're working on your vocabulary, you're working on your jazz language and all of that kind of stuff, and you said that you want to be able to play gigs, or you want to be able to teach, or whatever you want to do, play jazz. So what you do, start sharing and documenting it and sharing it with with the world. This is what I did. Back in 2009, my whole idea was to get paid for practicing. It's something that I did and I enjoyed. I spent a lot of time doing it. And so, of course, when you're admired for your playing ability, people want to know how you approach practicing. What's your regimen? So do that. Do just like this. Uh-oh, that's fast. So let's say like a minor scale. All right, so I just did that off the cuff. That's a minor, harmonic minor, but watch what I did. When I got to the bottom, I did an enclosure. Make it up. Anyway, that was a straight off the cuff thing. I forgot that I had it on that fast tempo because I was working on Origin and I was going to play the tune. But anyway, I just thought off the cuff minor scale, right? And so what I'll do from time to time when I come in here, like, the cares of life could be bombarding your mind. You're thinking about bills, you're thinking about family stuff, you're thinking about stuff that you got to do, you're overwhelmed and all of that. And then I would suggest, if you got some time, just go practice. Just go practice. Put on Drum Genius, get it to playing, and let your mind just kind of go through playing scales, arpeggios, playing tunes, all of that stuff. Do that, and then I promise you, you'll feel a whole lot better. Then after that, you can go and do whatever you got to do. But here's an extra tip that you can put on top of that. Like, don't see what happens when people want to make money with their music. They get overwhelmed and they feel like they got to do all of this stuff before they can actually start recording and sharing stuff. Where it's like you can record the process. That's what I've always been a believer of. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can share your process and the journey. It's like an ongoing journey that you're able to share with your audience. Of course, I release really polished videos with other musicians, and I release videos when we're at the club. I release videos where I'm at the studio here. I release videos where I'm working on the song. I release all kind of type of videos that show different contexts. And I release inspirational videos, motivational videos, and all of that stuff, because this whole experience that we have as human beings is a journey. And so we're all going through a lot of the same things, but just different people. Like myself, I've probably been doing it longer from the standpoint of sharing as a musician. So what happens is, if you just make it a point to share along the way as you're working on your improvisation, as you're working on, building your brand, you're going to get sharper and sharper. And the thing too, another value is speaking, because you don't want to get pigeonholed where you're only playing. And so you're stuck to where, people only care about you and you being able to play your instrument, or they only want to hire you for playing. Whereas you might have a message, you might have a teaching method, you might have a philosophy or an approach or a concept, that you want to be able to leverage as well. Because like I say, my book that I wrote, The Christian Musician, the key in there was learn what your real gift is and how to succeed with and beyond your music. So your real gifting is the way you think. Music is just an avenue that your giftedness is displayed through. I'll pause so you can think about that. So that means me playing this instrument is an instrument. It's a tool that I use in order to do a certain job sonically with music. It's a tool of choice for me to communicate what's in my heart, spirit, soul, musically, and it connects with you. All right. But away from the instrument, I'm still valuable. I'm valuable to my wife, my kids, my family, and even you. Even if I don't play, I still have value. Why? Because I've been sharing my philosophy. I've been sharing my outlook, my perspective, my worldview, and all of that kind of thing. And that encourages, that inspires, that mindset helps other people. And so you got to think about your value in more ways than just your talent and ability to play an instrument or to create music. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about that, because we're talking about the bigger scheme of things where you want to make money as a musician. And so it really could be not just as a musician, but just overall, with the assets. Let's say the assets that we have. So being a musician is an asset, but you have other assets that might not be connected to music. You got to put stuff in all 12 keys. So I'm just kind of playing like 2-5-1s up in half steps. So another thing too, you'll hear something and your ideas, you'll get stuck because your fingers need to work out what you're actually hearing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the thing. Let me see. Somebody said that they were going to come and pick something up, so I got to give this neck to somebody in a minute. I'm having, so I need to give somebody this neck. They need to check it out. So really, I'm playing ideas that I hear, and I'm having my fingers to go over this stuff. And so the reason why is just keeping my fingers used to doing different combinations. And I'm working on a 2-5-1. I could pick a different type of chord, but this is basically minor chord going to the 7th chord. Ah. But anyway, I'm just messing around. Y'all getting in the shed session too. So, and that's the thing, you can create like a series or something around the type of videos that you do. And we're all different. So you might have a particular idea or concept for a certain type of videos. And we're all going to be working on stuff and developing things. And if you can do it and tie it into where you can share it with people, and whether it be, multiple times a week or once a week, your consistency will really pay off. And, you might have some opportunities to come from it, like students that might come that want to work with you or have you work with them, and you might have gigs that pop up from somebody seeing something that you do. So whatever you do, share it. Let me check out the chat and say, hey, brother, I emailed you last week for mentoring. Okay. Did I miss it? Pray all is well. Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I miss it? I probably missed it. I'll go look for your email. Okay. So like 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. It's 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yep. Hey, I was wondering how you get away from playing the same things when you improvise. That's a great question. How do you get away from playing the same things when you improvise? Let's see. Okay, that's a great question. Let me see. I'm going to put it on the song. Okay, hold on, somebody's here. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Give me 1 second. Here you go.
How are you?
Good.
Okay.
All right.
Just a little bit. I'll be back.
Okay.
Shortly.
No problem. All right. Cool. That's a great question. How you get away from playing the same thing when you improvise? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. I don't know how to answer it because it's all about what you're paying attention to. So let me put this on here. I'm going to put it on something swinging. They got a really nice swinging one in here. This is swinging. Let me get a medium. That's kind of slow. Oh, let's do a blues. Let's do a blues. Man, that E is a trip. That E blues ain't no joke. Man. Ooh, that right there. See that right there? See, so to answer your question, after all of that, it's all about, so the more vocabulary you're able to play is directly in response to how much you've played in that particular key. So if your fingers aren't used to playing certain lines, and combinations in a particular key, then your vocabulary will be limited. So when I got to that E, and a lot of it is thinking too. I just had to have some time to think about it. But of course, there's not a lot of E blues. Blues in E is usually blues in F or blues in E flat, but not in E unless you're a guitar player. And so I'm playing in F sharp. And so of course I was clumsy. So that's kind of what you have to do, because I can hear the lines. Of course, I hear the bebop, but on tenor, playing it in E on F sharp, I get clumsy around in there. So in order for me to play more fluently, I would need to do it more often. So I would focus on playing, those songs in particular keys. And the more you do it, the more you would have vocabulary. I hope that answered your question. But that's a great question. That's a great question. All right, so yeah, but for the most part, that's what I wanted to do, is come on here and shed and share a little bit. So I hope you got value from this. And I'm sorry if I missed your email. You can email me at info@Quan Fowler if you're interested in taking some lessons or being a part of the mentorship program. So sorry if I missed it. I've been busy, so I might have, missed the email. Stuff be stacking up, and you know how it is. So it's best if you have, if you set up a time to meet with me as well, go to letsgetsound.com, and that way we can get on Zoom and we can talk. And I can get a chance to meet you, and that way I can put a face to an email or, a message that you send me here. So that's it for now. Hope that was helpful for you. And key takeaway, no matter where you are, make sure that you, share what you're doing. If you want to build a brand around what you're doing on social media, and keep shedding and working it out, and join the communities that I've created. And I look forward to helping you expand your vocabulary and also build your brand as a musician so you can earn more. All right. Peace.